Okay, 3.11. Your directions are solve the equation for x, okay? So you're going to make your 8 boxes, and you're going to use 2 boxes for each problem. So here's my first problem. 4x plus 1 equals 7x minus 5. First off, make that 5 a plus negative. That's a negative 5. So circle your equals. This time there's 2 x's, 2 different x variables, 4x and 7x, but they're on opposite sides. So what you need to do is pick one of them. It doesn't matter which one. I'll pick the one over here every time, okay? And you have to either add or subtract the 7x so that it becomes 0. So it's positive 7. So if I'm at positive 7 on a number line, to get to 0, I'd have to move backwards. So minus 7x. And then you go to the other side, and you can cross that out then, but you have to go to the other side of the equals and minus 7x. Now you line up your equals, and you have to take 4 minus 7, okay? 4 minus 7 is negative 3x, and then plus 1. Now then over here you got your negative 5. Now that this is the only x I have, I make a wall, and 3 in the x would be times, and then plus 1. You want to circle the times. So the number that's not part of the times, that we have to get that to 0, okay, on this side. So positive to 0 would be subtracting 1. So I line up the equals, and you have negative 3 times x. Now over here, negative 5 minus 1 is going to give you negative 6. Now, if I have times, I need to divide to solve for the x. Okay, so I need to divide, underline each side, and the number with the x is the one you put under the lines. So those cancel, and I have just x. Now on the other side, negative 6 divided by negative 3 is positive 2. So that's your answer. Okay, example 2. You have 5x minus 2 equals 6x plus 5. So make that a plus negative. Now you have x's on different sides of the equation. You can't do that v thing. Okay, you can't use the v if they're on different sides. That can only be used if they're on the same side. So I'll pick one of the two. It doesn't matter which one. Okay, 6x. And we have to get that to a 0. So it's positive 6. So I would subtract 6x, cross it out, and then go to the other side and subtract 6x from my 5x. So line up the equals. So 5 minus 6 is negative 1x plus negative 2. And then over here we just have 5. So now that I've simplified this just to a single x, you got times and plus. So the one that's a plus, a negative 2, the one that's not, doesn't have a dot with it, we have to get that to 0. Now to get from a negative to 0, you move forward, so you'd add 2. So line up your equals, you got negative 1 times x, 5 plus 2 is 7. Okay, so now we have times, so again we have to divide at the end, because we have to unmultiply the negative 1. You do that by dividing. So negative 1, negative 1. Okay, 7 divided by negative 1 is negative 7. That's your answer. Okay, next up we have 5x plus 7 equals negative 14 plus 8x. There's no minuses. That's a negative. So the 5 and the 8, they're on opposite sides, so I take the 1 over here to 0. So minus 8x, and then minus that from your 5x. So 5 minus 8 would be negative 3x plus 7, and then negative 14. So now I have the x on only one side, so we have times and plus. So that's 7 out there. We have to take that to 0 by minusing 7. And we have negative 3 times x. And then that's negative 14. So watch how I punch this in. The top number's negative, and then I minus 7. so negative 21. And I've still got times, so I need to divide. So negative 3 times what number is negative 21? Well, you have to divide and see. Negative 3. So remember what that line means. It means negative 21 divided by negative 3. That gives me 7. So x equals 7. Okay, next problem. We have negative 2, example 4. Negative 2 plus 5x equals 4x plus 2. Now let's take the x from over here. It's a positive 4, so to get from a positive to 0, we'd have to subtract. Then minus it from 5x. So 4 minus 4 is 0. So do your x, put your 2 here, and do your x's first. 5 minus 4, that's going to be 1x. Plus the negative 2. So I got times and plus. Now to get from a negative 2 to 0, you have to move forward on the number line. So plus 2, plus 2. So 2 plus 2 is 4, 1 times x. And divide by 1, and 4 divided by 1 is 4. Okay, example 5. 4x minus 4 equals negative 9 plus 7x. So make that a plus negative 4. So mark the x over here and get that to a 0. Okay, so I would minus 7x because it's positive, and that's 0. Then I minus 7x from here. Okay, so 4 minus 7 is going to be negative 3x plus negative 4. Then we have negative 9. Okay, so we have times and plus, so times. So you have to get your negative 4 to a 0. You would add 4, add 4. So negative 9 plus 4 is negative 5. Then I divide by negative 3. So negative 5 divided by negative 3 is 1.7. Just round it. Okay, example 6. 3 plus 5x equals 8x plus 3. So I pick one of the x's, this one here, okay? As long as there's still another number there, okay? If it's just 8x with itself, you want to get rid of the one over here, but okay, so 8, we're going from 8 to 0. So positive 8 to 0, that would be minus 8x, and then minus 8x from your 5x. You're only worried about x's. So 5 minus 8 is negative 3x plus the 3. And over here we have 3. So I have times and plus. Circle the times. Get your 3 to a 0, so I would minus 3. It's positive 3. So I got negative 3 times x, and on the other side, 3 minus 3 is 0. Okay, so then you are going to divide by negative 3. Okay, so 0 divided by negative 3, that's going to be 0. Okay, example 7. 8 minus 3x equals 14 minus x. I do not like those minuses, okay? So make them plus negative, and then put a 1 in front of that x right there. If it needs a number in front, you put a 1. So I would get rid of that x there. If I have to go from negative 1 to 0, that would be forward, so that would be plus 1x. To get that to 0, then I plus 1x to the negative 3x. So over here we have 14 by itself, and over here negative 3 plus 1. Remember, your top number is negative 3, and then you plus 1 to that, negative 2. So negative 2x plus the 8. Okay, so I have times and plus 8. So I get rid of the plus 8. It's positive 8, so I'd have to move backwards. 14 minus 8 is 6. Negative 2 times x. So negative 2 times what's 6? Well, let's divide and find out. 6 divided by negative 2. Negative 3. Okay, next one. We have 12x minus 4 equals 9 minus x. Get rid of these, make these minuses plus negative 1. So again, let's get that negative 1x to a 0. So we plus 1x plus 1x. So it's going to be 13x plus negative 4, and then we have 9. So now what's going on the x side? You have a times 13 and a plus negative 4. So get your negative 4 to a 0 by adding 4. So 9 plus 4 is 13, and then 13 times x. So divide by 13, divide by 13. 13 divided by 13 is 1. Okay. Alright, next one we have 5x plus 3 equals 5x plus 3. So take the x from here, subtract 5x, and then subtract 5x from there. Because it's positive, you have to go backwards. Well, a funny thing happens. 5x minus 5x is 0x. Put 0x plus 3, 3. Now, if you have 0x, you cross them out. Cross it out, get rid of it. Now, this becomes all solution or no solution. Now, which one is it? Are these numbers the same? 3 and 3, they're the same. If they're the same, it's all solutions. Okay? Now, let's go to the next one. 8 plus 7x equals 7x minus 4. Make that plus negative. Okay, now the x's. Well, take the one from over here, get that to a 0. So I would minus 7x, minus 7x under the 7x. Now, I have negative 4 over here. 7 minus 7 is 0, so you put 0x plus 8. Now 0x means you get rid of the x, as long as it's 0, because 0 times anything is 0. No, even though we don't know what x is, taking it times 0 is 0. Okay, so again, it's all solution or no solution. Okay, these numbers are different this time, so if they weren't the same like here, they're different numbers, so that's a no solution.